What is going YouTube? Happy New Year. Today, we're going to get in some XFL schedule drops. We'll talk about some of the latest XFL news. We'll go through some of the supplemental draft results. Been a busy couple weeks for the XFL. First piece of news, former Philadelphia Stars quarterback Brian Scott, also Spring League quarterback, the Spring League, going to back to the XFL to play for the Vegas, not back to the XFL, excuse me, going to the XFL to play for the Vegas Vipers. That's a huge signing for them. I think he's probably going to be their starter if I had to bet. I just can't. I don't know who else would be their starter in that room. Sorry. Where's that? Yeah, I think the Vipers didn't have a great starter. Luis Perez. I put Brian Scott over him. Um, pretty talented spring quarterback, pretty accurate. Unfortunately, had an injury, missed most of the USFL season, but was one of the higher touted guys. And has done some of the XFL QB camps. Seemed to be a good locker room guy on that show about the USFL, whose name escapes me. But that'll be a great ad. Another addition, a return to the XFL, is Jordan Ta'amu, one of my favorite quarterbacks from the first XFL season, the 2020 season. He will not be returning to the Battlehawks, but he'll be going to the DC Defenders. They were a team that in that first quarterback assignment only had one quarterback. So it makes sense. I know they've added some other guys, but I think Jordan Ta'amu has proven to be a pretty good spring league quarterback, if not elite. I think maybe this could be the bounce back year. I'm not sure what happened last year in the USFL, but he was much better in the XFL in 2020. Hopefully he can bounce back. He's definitely a great spring league quarterback, pretty mobile, pretty solid arm. I think he could really be a difference maker in the league, and that definitely changes the DC Defenders, which is why I didn't want to do team predictions yet. And still don't, because I think guys are going to be added and dropped. And then another guy who unfortunately will not be participating in the XFL is Chance Stribling. He was playing assigned set to play for the St. Louis Battlehawks. He is going to the Philadelphia Stars. We just found out yesterday, I believe. So as a Philly Stars fan, I'm pretty happy that he's coming back. It's a big loss for the XFL. The guy led the league in interceptions. I think he had won the playoffs too. But he led the regular season in interceptions. Dynamic playmaker. And definitely a loss for the XFL, but for my Philly Stars, I'm happy to hold on to him. So the other big thing that happened was the schedule dropped. So the schedule dropped. Just want to go through it quickly. So week 1, we start with Vegas Vipers versus Arlington Renegades. On Saturday, ABC game. We got another Saturday night game. And then Sunday, we've got this St. Louis and San Antonio and Seattle versus DC, a rematch of the first ever XFL game from 2020, actually also in DC. So that'll be the Sunday night game. So the first week we got all ESPN, ABC, ESPN, FX. And then week 2, we got Battlehawks at Dragons, Defenders at Vipers, San Antonio at Orlando, and Arlington at Houston. I think that could be a good Thursday night game at 9 is a great game, actually. Just off the top of my head. Again, I'm doing a full roster breakdown. Seattle versus Vegas, Saturday, March 4th. Battlehawks Defenders on Sunday. And then 3 Sunday games that day, excuse me, actually. Orlando versus Arlington, and then San Antonio versus Houston. And then week 4, we have Houston versus Orlando on Saturday, San Antonio versus Seattle, also on Saturday, a late game. And then Sunday, we got Arlington versus St. Louis and Vegas versus DC. So a lot to look at there. Week 5 also was a week 5 game in the 2020 XFL, Houston Roughnecks versus Seattle Dragons, the last game before the COVID shutdown. But that's a Thursday night. So this is the first Thursday night game. That's what I was looking for. So we got Thursday night football again, which is exciting. And then DC Defenders versus St. Louis on Saturday. And then Orlando versus Vegas on Saturday, March 19th. And then Arlington versus San Antonio. And then we have Seattle versus Orlando on Saturday, the 25th. We got St. Louis versus Vegas, San Antonio versus Arlington, and Houston versus DC. Week 7, we got Seattle at Arlington on Friday night, St. Louis versus Houston, San Antonio versus Vegas, and DC versus Orlando are the Sunday games. Again, a couple Saturday games: Vegas versus St. Louis and Arlington versus Orlando, and then Houston versus San Antonio on Sunday, and then DC at Seattle on that Sunday. Week 9, Vegas versus Houston Roughnecks on the Saturday game, and then Orlando versus San Antonio Saturday night, and then Arlington versus DC on ESPN, and then St. Louis versus Seattle on the Sunday at 3:00. And then Orlando versus Battlehawks, DC versus San Antonio, Houston versus Arlington, Vegas versus the Seattle Sea Dragons to round out the season. And then we'll have the weekend, April 29th and April 30th. We'll have 2 games. We'll have a game Saturday, April 29th at 7, and then Sunday, April 30th at 3. And then the championship will be May 13th at 3 p.m. So there will be a bye between the championship and the semifinals and the championship. There's no other buys in this season for any of these teams, even before the playoffs. So that's something to note. Overall, I think they did a great job putting this together. They got some late night games for the West Coast fans. They got some Thursday games, which I think will be a good experiment for them. I wonder if that conflicts with March Madness or something, but just I think it's a pretty solid schedule. Again, we'll see how the rosters look to do more predictions. Maybe we'll go game by game when we got some guests on, but overall, it looks like pretty solid schedule. And yeah, let's go to those XFL supplemental draft results. This is from the site xflboard.com. So these are just some of the players. Didn't have a chance quite to go through all of these, but you can see the first 4 guys or first 5 guys taken are all offensive linemen, which isn't surprising. As our friend Coach Andrew talked about last week, O-line play is crucial in these spring leagues. And then Akinda Malota and Freedom, former USFL star for the Philly Stars, I believe, but definitely USFL star for sure. And then the biggest name I think that was taken was Josh Gordon. Let's see what number he was taken. Nope, not in this list, huh? Oh, there he is. Yeah, okay. He was the 45th pick. The Seattle Dragons got Josh Gordon, former NFL player. Obviously had some off the field issues. That's a huge get for the league. I think he's still incredibly talented. It's a good chance for him to get back playing high level football on a national stage. Hopefully it works out for him. Yeah, I think there's a lot of names to go here. But yeah, so here's some more guys picked. Go check out the XFL board to look at the full list. I'm not going to read through that entire list, but so that was pretty much all I had this video. Let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts about any of the players who were picked or any thoughts about your favorite team's schedule or just schedule in general. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think about this video. Let me know your thoughts on the scheduling, any of those players coming in and out. I know I didn't get to everything, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. And yeah, tune in. Thanks.